We are in Mallorca. Guys, I am on a 6-day holiday out on the island of Mallorca. Today I'm joining the Rapha crew, or I was meant to, but because of the high winds that were this morning, they've cancelled the ride. So me and a friend are going to go out and smash our own little ride this morning. Guys, welcome back to the What Life. Let's roll. So if you've been to Mallorca, you probably do, or you should be familiar with the Rapha store, because it's one of the really good hubs in Mallorca for going on rides. And there was meant to be one this morning, but it was so windy, they cancelled it. But the winds have calmed down now, and it's 9:10. So we're going to go out and hit our own little ride. And here's the thing: is I've been to Mallorca a few times. I don't like creating routes, but I have pulled a few routes off Komoot, and I will drop the link below on the ride that we're doing today, which is going to take us along one of the nicest roads. When you say that, nicest roads in Mallorca. We're going to do Andrax, then we'll go along the coast.
Very pretty, yeah. Stop.
Very pretty, certified very pretty. Notorious. It's one of the more notorious roads that kind of feature out here on the island. The north side of the island is hilly. I've run across the island before. I've done the Mallorca 312, and hopefully this week I'm going to do the Mallorca 312 old route around the island, so stick around for that. So join us today as we head out and do a lovely North Island coastal ride. Link to the route down below. Right, let's go, baby. So this route is probably the nicest part of kind of the coastal route, which is the northwest side of the island. We're going up past the military base. So the climb itself is usually quite quiet with traffic because not many people use this road. And this is the military base. Here's a car though. So I'm out here on my own, and the intention was to kind of dive in a few group rides. Rapha today, Normal has one tomorrow, but you don't have to do that. And finding routes, I don't like creating routes because I don't know the roads, but routes that are on Komoot are very easy to just pull down, change a few bits, and then chuck onto your head unit. That's exactly what we've done today. We've got about 50 miles from the Rapha store. What's that, 75k? And what a beautiful day in October. Nothing better than 800-meter climbs for breakfast, but it's turned into a gorgeous morning. Late September, October is a great time to come out here. Weather is a little bit cooler, 24, 25 today, 26, 27 next week. So pretty perfect cycling if you still like the sunshine. Come out here June, July, it's baking. So today, slightly cooler morning, and it just means that makes these climbs under the shade lovely. Also, I've come out here 3 times with a bike, and 3 different bikes. First time was to ride the 312 on the Envy Melee. Second time was earlier this year on the Windspace T1550. We did Sakalobber on it. Today we're here on the SLC, and so far, 60 minutes into the first day, this is hands down the best bike that I brought out here. I love the Melee. Great bike, great all-round race bike, fast, but styling, everything, lightness, firmness, enjoyable, positioning. This is my favorite. There you go, I said it now. Let's see whether I still think that at the end of the week.
Really hard work.
There is a lot to be said about bringing your own bike out here, even if you're only doing 3-4 days. So let me break down the cost for you very quickly. I booked a flight, EasyJet, Gatwick, North Terminal. I did not have a hold bag or a cabin bag. So my flight was cheap, 60-70 quid each way. Booked in a bike box, 45 quid each way. So 140 pounds each way, including bike box. Chucked 6 sets of kit and a few other bits in my bike box, and then took a tiny little backpack with cameras in. That's how I got out here. And that, my friends, is the way to do it. If you don't have a bike box, rent one, it's worth it. You will be annoyed if you don't bring your own bike, won't you?
My mistake.
A mistake?
Big mistake. Yeah, bring your own bike.
We saw one car that whole climb. Well, there's a bit more to go, but we saw one car. Last thing I will say between kind of renting a bike and bringing your own is, please remember that if you rent a bike, that in itself costs money. Lucia has rented an old Pinarello rim brake, alloy wheels, 25 mil tires. She's not loving it. That costs her for the week 200 and something pounds. If you want like a Canyon Air Road, prices have gone up. It's like 400-500 euros for a week, which, these things are expensive, but it just makes bringing your own bike that much more of a justifiable expense, because it's not more expensive to bring your own bike, it's more expensive to rent, in my humble opinion, if we factor in a little bit of emotional love when you get to ride your own bike up these hills. We had a little detour and took a wrong turn and went down a hill. Now we're going back up it. Right, next stop will be the Andrax climb and then the coastal route. These roads, this route, just freaking incredible. Definitely not in Taplow anymore. Still got a long way to go. We're having a cheeky cafe break, which I think the ride we're meant to go on with Rapha was meant to be nice and flat and probably further south of the island. We decided to give that one a pass and come up north and take on the beautiful but also way more hilly route, and it has had a little bit of an effect on my riding companion. So now we are bowling into Andrax, which is at the bottom of our next climb. I think this might be where me and Lucia part ways. she might not be feeling like she wants to go and hammer out a load of climbing along the north coast of Mallorca, but I am. I'm all over it. It's 12 o'clock now. We're parting ways now.
Yeah. Next time on my own bike. I'll do
More
the
watts,
longer one with you,
more
yeah.
hills.
Yeah.
Right. So we've done about 2 and a bit hours, 50k in, and Lucia's had enough struggling on the climbs with her rent-a-bike, so she actually doesn't, or her family who lives out here doesn't live too far from here, so she's bailing 12:15. So solo ride up onto the north coast as we climb out of Andrax, and it's quite a big climb, 5.5% average, and yeah, let's get stuck into it. And the hottest part of the day is definitely kind of after lunch, 1 o'clock, which we are going to be getting into in about 45 minutes. Right, let's get stuck into this climb on this beaut of a bike that feels so dialed in at the moment. I love it. Right, that's the top of that climb. Done. Put a bit of a kick in, a little bit of an effort doing it that time. Now we are gorgeous coastal routes, and I am looking forward to it because you'll see in a minute. It's insane, really nice. No hanging around. Let's get today done, get into a rhythm, enjoy it, and you're about to see some of the most stunning cycling roads that Mallorca has to offer. Ignore the trash can. This bike, these climbs, this island, what a combo. Absolutely made for it. This bike feels so fantastic. Like bike, like life. I might be becoming a weight weenie. Once you get on the coastal route, it really starts rolling. So the hard work is done. Well, the proper hard work. Now, some of the most gorgeous rolling roads with really good road quality. And if you do the 312, the Mallorca 312, this is probably the best bit of it. I do not care what your question is. The answer is this bike. What's the best bike to bring to Mallorca? This bike. What am I doing next Thursday? This bike. What do I want for breakfast tomorrow? This bike. The best bike for you is the one that makes you feel like this. I am having such a good time. I feel great on it. This bike. That's all I can say. Loving it, having a good day. And it feels good to do it on my own bike. Maybe it's because the MV Miele wasn't mine. I couldn't tweak it quite how I wanted with a overpriced, oversized pulley wheels, which I love. But this bike is doing me an absolute solid today because I'm loving it. And that, my friends, is the best bike to have. One that you love. Decision time. Because I'm having such a nice time, I might increase the length of the loop. Done 90k. Luckily, I pulled 4 or 5 different maps off of Komoot this morning, so I'm going to see whether I can dive onto a different route that I downloaded that might kind of let me dive on halfway through, and I can just extend my day a bit. Because 2:30, 90k, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm not ready to go home. I'm ready for lunch though. I'll chat to these cyclists. We're on the little ring, but that's okay because we've just done a climb. Yeah, my choices are to dive back down the hill and a few rolling hills, head back to Palma and then home, make about 120k a day, or head on to Soler, which stays on the coastal route, a few more climbs. I'm hungry, I've had 2 gels since seeing Lucia, and that's it. So I haven't had any lunch. Oh, it's 2 o'clock now, sorry, I said 2:30 a minute ago, it's not, it's like just before 2 o'clock. I'm gonna see whether these cyclists over here need some help. Love it, a few e-bike problems, and to be fair, when we did the Mallorca 312, I saw a huge amount of people, not a huge amount, a bunch of people in their kind of 60s riding e-bikes for the Mallorca 312, and I think it's fantastic because I don't want to judge anyone, but if they didn't have an e-bike, they might not be able to come do an event like that because it's climbing. So the fact that people can come out on e-bikes when they work, this one's having a few battery problems, we're not going to hold it against it, but when they work, brilliant. Agreed?
Agreed. When they don't work, not so brilliant.
I think we're going to carry on to Soler rather than go back to Palma, get a few more miles in today, and then figure out a loop back home. So we're going to carry on to Soler, which makes this ride, rather than being like 110, 120k, maybe 180, 190k, with quite a lot of climbing if I'm honest. But I'm out here to ride my bike. That's what I'm going to do. This is needed. Quick refuel, little drink, and then we'll get back on our way. Right, so whatever plan I had, we're bailing on that, and we are going to head back to Palma, go and get pizza. So, made it to Dea, and we're going to head back from here. Head inland a bit and do all the flat stuff, and it should be a whole shot with some rolling hills back into town and then back to the HQ. But it's been a great day so far. We need to round it off. And the last thing I'm going to do today is swapping out my brake pads. I'm going to put a new set on. Just a bit of peace of mind as I get stuck into the Mallorcan hills over the next few days. So we're heading home. That's all I've got to report. Let's do it. Let's roll. So at this stage, I actually do not know where I'm going, but all the mountains are behind me, slash on my right, so I must be kind of going in the right direction. Gonna head inland a bit, figure it out, make my way back to Palma, find the coast, make my way back to my hotel. I think that's the nice thing about being in Mallorca. Sometimes you don't have to worry about directions too much. Just, if you're in the mountains, you're in the mountains. If you're not, you can see them so you know where they are. And we're gonna have to figure this one out because I still don't have a route to get home, but I'm not worrying about it. think I've gone wrong somewhere, but at least I'm not on a motorway. This is what I mean about pulling routes off Komoot. I'm now just trying to figure out how to get back. If you don't know how to, which roads to go down, you can't build your own route. So the route we were on earlier was from Komoot, was fantastic. The route to get back into town, I haven't managed to get to. So I'm now just picking my way through the outskirts of Parma, but it's fine. I'll figure it out. So this is not a bike review video, but seeing as I was singing its praises earlier, it's probably only fair that I give you a bit more of a rounded opinion on the SLC. And the one thing that I struggle with a little bit is just this front fork. I don't personally think it responds very well to two directions of force. And what I mean by that is it's a little bit soft if you're braking and leaning into a turn. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, you shouldn't be using your front brake on a turn. I'm not, yes, that doesn't mean you don't do it. Sometimes you soft brake and lean in at the same time. It's two directions of force. It's, frontal and lateral force or whatever, peak torque will tell you. And it doesn't respond well to that. It doesn't feel nice. So that's just I'm going to sing its praises. Might as well share a well-rounded opinion. But we're back on the beach. All we got to do now is cruise home, swap out these brake pads, and we're done for the day. So all I've had today is, and this isn't bragging, I'm just keeping up to date, had 2 gels, I had the coffee, had the Calippo, and a Mars bar. We've done about 130k, a couple of thousand feet of climbing. I'll check that later. So it's been a reasonably big day. I haven't taken on too much and I feel pretty good. I could definitely have done with some solid food when we're up in the mountain. That was my mistake. And if we do try and do the OG round the island 312 loop, definitely gonna have to take some solid food with me. So we'll figure that out when we need to. We've opted for the very chilled way home. So there we go, all done. 127.3k, 2,000 meters of climbing, 5.5 hours. We had quite a bit of stopping today, which wasn't necessary, but it was nice. We had a nice day. We made it back home. That was a pretty good loop. I'll drop the link to the original loop that we were meant to do down below. You guys can use it or not, up to you. But thanks for sticking around, guys. We're going to join the Paz ride tomorrow. They've got a training ride tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting one for obvious reasons. And then we're going to try and do the Mallorca 312 loop. So there's plenty going on this week. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'll see you on another one soon.